Today I'm standing here in a typical park where children come to laugh, play, run, jump, and climb. It's probably even similar to the one you played in as a kid. But have you ever stopped to think about those kids you don't see here? Or have you ever wondered why? Although this park behind me is beneficial to most children, it's not accessible enough or safe enough for others.
Andrea Denton, Perdome, contacted me and said, what would you think about considering an accessible playground? A playground that would be open to all the kids, kids in wheelchairs, kids with autism, kids with CF, with MDA, all these different things that kids suffer from.
You've heard it. City of Waynesville is planning to replace all of this equipment behind me with 100% handicap accessible equipment so all parents and children with all different disabilities can come and enjoy the time outside. While talking with City of Waynesville Mayor Luge Hardman, she explains to me how the city is working with Unlimited Play in St. Louis to help plan, build, and fundraise this new project. Although Unlimited Play has helped out tremendously, most of the community has been able to raise most of the funds for the new equipment.
In our little community, we have raised from just people and organizations and businesses $150,000. We've had a lot of donations from organizations who have, for example, the credit union has purchased Croker. Croker will invite the kids into the playground, and they paid for that. AUSA has donated quite a bit of money to buy the Army feature. You will remember that our Little Heroes Playground is patterned after the 5 military branches. And so every one of the branches is going to have a feature in our playground. So I'm telling you that the City of Waynesville is going to begin our Little Heroes Playground this fall.
When asking about the reoccurring floods in the Waynesville Park, Mayor Hardman explained to me her solution to the problem.
Park properties throughout the country are in floodplains, and so our playground has to be engineered for flooding because it's going to get flooded. And one of the good things about our playground is the flooring that they're going to use is drainable. It's sand underneath it. It has taken all of that into account.
This has been a community-wide project from the start and will continue to be as they assemble the new equipment.
The building of it, by the way, is going to be a community affair. And we will have work days where we'll announce to the public, you know, if you have a group that would like to take part in this, bring your gloves and bring your shovels and come on out, and it'll be a community affair.
I recently sat down with Daniel Barnes. He explained to me how in 2006 there was an accident in Iraq causing him to lose both his legs. He then explained to me how parents alongside children can benefit from this new playground.
I was injured in 2006, lost both my legs in Iraq, and since then I've been in a wheelchair. And when I was approached with the project or heard about it from her, I was all on board. I have 4 boys, 2 of them who are 6 years old now, and not being able to take them to the playground and actually get on the playground, play with them, or go inside the play area, it was definitely a project that I wanted to be a part of.
Mr. Barnes is not the only supporter of the park. I also sat down with Jennifer Simmons, who has a 16-year-old son named Hunter, who's been diagnosed with cerebral palsy at a very young age. She tells me that when she talked to the board about fundraising for the new project, she tried to relate raising a child with special needs to the floods in Waynesville and how it can be full of unknowns.
I just tried to correlate that to kind of what it's like to be a parent of a child with special needs, and that there's a lot of unknowns and the world isn't always accessible. It's not always an easy place to go out and venture into. So I just tried to relate it in that way so they could kind of understand just a simple trip to the grocery store is sometimes difficult because the world isn't always accessible. So I wanted them to kind of understand that.
Normal trips to the park might seem like no big deal when it's just minutes away. But when it becomes a road trip, things can get difficult.
Hunter has seizures and other health issues, so to have something really close to home is pretty exciting.
Although traveling 3.5 hours to get to the nearest handicap-accessible park might seem like a big deal, so is building a new park. City of Waynesville has, although, come up with multiple ways to get the funds to put in the new equipment.
One of the neat ways that you can give is they're going to have a donor wall where if you give $500, you can get your family name on the donor wall.
They've gone out to businesses, and businesses have done fundraisers. I was part of a craft fair that was ran by a local motorcycle organization. They did a fundraiser for a craft fair.
One of them I actually saw another playground did, which was like a hero dash, like a 5K, where everyone kind of dressed up as different superheroes. I thought that would go well with our theme, since the playground is called Little Heroes Playground. So I'm hoping to kind of get something like that organized.
When asking for donations, members of the park board and the community try and use their personal experiences to tell people how much they really want to get every kid out here to come play.
There are so many children who don't have the opportunity to have a playground that's accessible, whether or not they're in a wheelchair or maybe they walk with a walker. A lot of our kids who have cerebral palsy have problems getting up the ladders and the stairs and those kinds of things.
It's just going to give a chance for the kids who can't go on a swing set. There's going to be swings that you can pull in with your wheelchair, you know, if they're in a wheelchair, and they can get on a swing and swing. I mean, that's there. If you look at the playgrounds we have here in Waynesville and in St. Robert, none of them someone in a wheelchair can't get on them, because they're usually rubber chips everywhere and you cannot move a wheelchair around. It's hard enough to roll a stroller through it.
I think it'll be good for people to meet other people of different abilities and just interact together and have fun.
They will drive for hundreds of miles if they have a child, for example, who has MDA or has a CF, a child who maybe can't hold his head up. Our swings are going to be the high back swings. So kids that have never had a swing opportunity can do that. So it's just going to be fabulous.
You know what they say, go big or go home. That really seems to be the slogan for this new project.
If you would think about the existing playground we have in the Rubidoux Park, our new playground is going to be nearly 3 times that footprint. And eventually we'll have a sidewalk that will hook it on to the spray ground. And then hopefully next year we're going to build a handicap accessible bathroom on the other side of the park, which will of course be very important to this feature.
The city of Waynesville is trying to create a unique place where kids of all abilities can come and have a great time. The park still needs a little more financial support, but you can keep track of where they are by spotting the thermometers throughout town. I'm Kat Christick. I'll see you next time.